photonic integration will be vital to optically enable next generation switches, and this was highlighted at the ECOC Market Focus by Greg Young, the CEO of Luxtera. Greg, thanks for talking to us today. Just tell us why that's so important.
Well, with the history of interconnect, optics has been something that sits more on the periphery of mainstream usage. Inside data centers, everything has always been connected with copper wires and copper transceivers. What's happened over the last few years is the data center data rates, the speed at which things fly between the different switch boxes, has gone up so much that people can no longer use copper wires to interconnect, and optics has come into mainstream adoption inside the data center. But this trend line doesn't stop there. What's happened is the needs and the bandwidth growth is continuing on and marching forward. And so what we see is that the optical interconnect is now becoming the main, essentially the main I/O for these switches, particularly within hyperscale data centers, cloud, and all that. And so what you see now in terms of the adoption curve is the electrical channel that actually is in the printed circuit board between the switch ASIC and the optical module itself is actually consuming quite a bit of power. And the pluggable module itself, the form factor of QSFP-DD or OSFP, becomes a limit in terms of density. And so what we see is, as we move forward to the next generation, 25 terabit and 50 terabit switches, that's going to be really pushed to the limits. And you can take the same technology that exists, particularly with the real silicon photonics platform, you can take the technology that exists inside the pluggable module and you can integrate that much closer to the switch ASIC, thereby eliminating the electrical channel between the switch and the optical module. That elimination drives significant power savings. And a 50 terabit switch generation, you might be looking at upwards of 500 watts of saving inside of a switch box as you make this transition. So that's the main driver for optically enabled switches as things scale.
When do you think this will happen? How long will it take?
Well, it's been coming really soon for a long time, and so actually it's now kind of knocking at the door, and we have people who are setting up the supply chain with us to be able to deliver it. We have customers who are engaged with us, kicking the tires on the supply chain, making sure that we're ready to deliver. And it looks like in earnest in the next 3 to 5 years we will see this adopt. 3 years from now we'll be on 25 terabit switches with an early usage cases of switch optical integration, and by 2023 you will see 50 terabit switches in there in which this has been moved into mainstream utilization of switch optical integration.
What will be the final driver? What will tip us over the edge to doing it?
Somebody proving that it can work. Somebody like Luxtera, who has been working hard on this, will deliver a solution. Will deliver a solution into a major marquee customer. That customer will prove out that it worked, and as soon as somebody sees it's possible to do, they're going to look at the power and the cost and the density benefits that are astronomical in this architecture, and it's going to tip the scales, and this is going to go mainstream.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Bye.